All right, next up is series and summation notation. They kind of go hand in hand, so we're going to kind of talk about them at the same time. A series is the sum of all the numbers in a sequence. So, for example, if your sequence is 1, 2, 3, 4, then your series would be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. If your pattern was 2, 4, 6, 8, your sequence, and then you'll see it says dot, 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 it keeps on going forever. The series would be 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10 plus keeps going forever. If your sequence is 1 half, 1/3, 1/4, 1/5, 1/6, then you're going to do 1 half plus 1/3 plus 1/4 plus 1/5 plus 1/6. Now, that can be a little cumbersome to write the entire thing every single time. So sometimes we're going to use this thing called summation notation. The summation notation to represent the sum of the sequence that goes 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10, kind of like the one that we had up here, just a little bit, well, it's finite, so it's ending. That would be looking at this part here. The bottom number here tells us k equals 1. That says it's the first value that we're going to plug into our equation. In other words, it's telling you what term you're starting with. We're starting with the first term. This top number here is the last value of k that we're going to plug in. In other words, we're stopping at the fifth term. So we're starting from the first term, going to the fifth term, and this 2k right here tells us how we find each individual term. So, for example, to find the first term, we do 2 times 1, which gives us that 2. Then to find the second term, 2 times 2, which gives us 4. 2 times 3 for our third term, 2 times 4, 2 times 5. And after we plug in 5, that's where we stop. So let's practice one problem like this. Here's the example. We're going from k equals 2 up to 5 for negative 5 times 2 to the k minus 1. There's a lot going on here. There's one small change. This k equals 2 down here means we're starting with the second term. Oops, that's a bad looking M. Let's try that again. And this number up here is we'll stop with the fifth term. And this part right here, again, is where we're going to plug in and find all of our numbers. So we're going to start with our second term. We're going to do a sub 2, and we're just going to plug in k equals 2. So we have negative 5 times 2 to the 2 minus 1. So we got negative 5 times 2 to the first, which just gives us a grand total of negative 10. A sub 2, a sub 3, we just did the second term. A sub 3 is negative 5 times 2 to the 3 minus 1, which is negative 5 times 2 squared. Well, that's negative 5 times 4, which gives us negative 20. A sub 4 is negative 5 times 2 to the 4 minus 1, or negative 5 times 2 to the third. 2 to the third is 8, so negative 5 times 8 is negative 40. Last term, we got to find a sub 5. We got negative 5 times 2 to the 5 minus 1, so negative 5 times 2 to the fourth. Well, 2 to the fourth is 16. Negative 5 times 16 is negative 80. So we found all 5 terms. That's the part that we're doing for the expand portion. The expand really just means find all the terms. And we found them. So the 5 terms, or the terms that we needed to find, are negative 10. And since we're doing a series, we're adding up these terms. So we got negative 10 plus negative 20 plus negative 40 plus negative 50. Sorry, negative 80. I was thinking we just about the 5 from stopping at the fifth term. So that's the expanding portion. Evaluate means actually do the addition. So we got negative 10 plus negative 20 plus negative 40 plus negative 80. Looking at this, thinking about a couple ways we can do this mentally. You can go through and just do negative 10 plus negative 20 plus negative 40. I'm going to go and pair up some things. So we got negative 20 and negative 80 adds up to negative 100. And then we got negative 10 and negative 40 gives us negative 50. So it's really negative 50 plus negative 100, which gives us a grand total of negative 150. Again, you could just go through and add them as you go. So negative 10 plus negative 20 is negative 30. Plus negative 40 gives us negative 70. Plus negative 80 gives us negative 150. Doesn't matter what order you add them in. Remember, addition is commutative, so you can move things around and add them in whatever order you want. Regardless of what you get or which way you do it, you should end up getting negative 150.